His dissatisfaction with life has to do with his impending divorce from his childhood sweetheart Catherine. They were together for almost a decade before they decided to separate last year. Their divorce is almost finalized, but Theodore is not ready to sign the papers yet. Because of lack of romantic interest in Theodore's life, he has grown emotionally and sexually frustrated. He satisfies his frustrations by talking to random women on the internet before going to sleep. One night while doing the same, he matches with a sweet girl, but their conversation ends with the girl asking him to choke her with a dead cat. The interaction makes Theodore realize he doesn't want to seek satisfaction from strangers anymore. As if on cue, the next day he sees an advertisement for a personalized OS, one that understands its owner's feelings and can be a friend, or an assistant. Curious and driven by his loneliness, Theodore buys a female OS. He can only interact with her by talking to her on his phone. Theodore thinks it is unnatural but is willing to give it a try. The OS soon activates and surely enough, she sounds just